Yeah. You know what it is. It's your boy Lamborghini Preem. Back again talking this boxing shit as always. You know what I mean? Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, fuck with your boy one time. You know. Also make sure you head over to my other page. Check out my brand new album. Shit dropped this July 4th. You know, it's called It's My Turn, the Throne Ascension LP. Real nigga shit all the way through it. You know what I mean? G shit throughout. If that's your kind of shit, go ahead, check me out. 100. But yeah, this video ain't about that. This is about the potential super fight between Adonis Stevenson and Andre SOG Ward. I personally think it's a super fight because I think it's a pay-per-view fight. I would happily pay for it, and I'm just looking forward to it, man. I seen Andre Ward, some of his interviews before and after the Crawford and Dongo fight, and he said that his juices have been flowing and he's now inspired to, you know, he really has a desire to become the undisputed champion at light heavyweight, and that's the kind of shit that I really like to hear. You know what I mean? It's only really one guy standing in his way, the only guy with a belt out there left, and that's Adonis Stevenson. But Adonis Stevenson is also a bad motherfucker, man. He remind me of like a light heavyweight version of Manny Pacquiao with that left hand, man. The way it's a I like to call that bitch a mind eraser. You know what I mean? You get hit with that. The way when he hit Chad Dawson with that shit, man, that was, oh my God. Damn, man. And Chad Dawson always been one of my favorite fighters, man. He's a fighter that's very technically sound, great jab, great defense, and all that. But whoo, as soon as he got hit by that left from Stevenson, man, he popped his top, man. That shit was crazy. You know what I mean? That shit was ill, man. I was like, and I did not see that coming at all. I figured like if Stevenson was gonna pull some shit off like that, it would be late. If it ever happened, you know what I'm saying? I felt like Chad Dawson was re-energized from, you know, after that L from Andre Ward. You know, he had came back. He was still champion at the time, you know. I felt like he was ready. He could have handled Stevenson as long as he stayed away from that punch. But goddamn, when Stevenson landed that shit, it was like, woo! Good night! You know what I mean? I was like, shit, I did not want to see that. But, you know, much respect to Stevenson. But since then, Stevenson been, you know, toiling at light heavyweight, just collecting money and shit, beating up on mandatories and shit like that, and that's cool with me. You know, you fight your mandatory, it's all right, but it's time to make this Andre Ward fight. I believe he should have made Stevenson. I'm talking about now. Should have made the Kovalev fight first. He should have been fought Kovalev because I believe that Stevenson could beat Kovalev. I also believe though Kovalev had the style to beat Stevenson too. But I blame Kovalev for the fight not happening because it was Kathy Duva and them and HBO that was on that fuck shit when it came time to negotiate. They the ones that pulled out from the purse bid and all that shit because they knew Al Heyman was going to win. And if you're really confident in your fighter, or if your fighter is really confident that he can win this fight, it shouldn't matter. Because you could take the L as far as the purse bid goes. I mean, because that would have still been more money than Kovalev had made in his career up until that point that he would have got for that fight. You already know Al Heyman known for paying these guys. So, I mean, in my opinion, it really wasn't no excuse. I understand the loyalty to HBO, but this is Al Heyman we talking about. I do believe that fight could have been worked out to where they still could have fulfilled the, you know, HBO obligation. You know, however, they could have made that happen, in my opinion. You know, I wasn't privy to the behind the scenes shit, but from what's been put out there, all of the information that's been out, you know what I mean, it looks to me like Kovalev did not want no smoke with Adonis Stevenson at that time. You know, for whatever reason, he didn't want that smoke, you know, and he wanted to smoke with Andre Ward. They thought maybe, you know, with the size advantage, the experience advantage, plus the fact that Kovalev had been red hot, coming off, you know, a whole bunch of wins, very good wins, back to back to back like that, and he was hot as fish grease, as Ann Wolf was so eloquently put it. Nigga was hot as fish grease, so you figure he come into the fight, you feel like he actually had a shot against Andre Ward to beat him. And in that first fight it looked like that, but as you can see, once that knee was in place correctly and he was able to move like he wanted to move, shit was a completely different fight, man. Completely different. you know. And shout out to Andre Ward for that, man, because I don't know what these motherfuckers is talking about with this low blow and shit, man. Kovalev quit. It was over. The fight was over. He did not get robbed. Wasn't shit stolen. It wasn't a bad stoppage at all, in my opinion. I believe he let Kovalev go a little further. Kovalev could have been stopped a little earlier. That first right hand that shook him up, he could have gave him a standing 8 right there. You know? And plus, to me, if you come into the second fight with excuses, it don't matter what happened in the second fight. You ain't got no excuse if you lose again. Especially when you the crusher and you known for being a knockout artist, and that's what you were supposed to do to this guy, being that he was a smaller guy in the first place. So, you know, that's just my opinion on that shit. But getting back to Ward versus Stevenson, if we go into the fight, technically, man, I believe it's no contest. I believe that Andre Ward should win this fight, 12-round decision, relatively easily, as long as he stays away from Adonis's money punch, that left hand, you know. But to be honest, man, Adonis Stevenson don't get enough credit for being a decent boxer, because his jab is decent, man. He, whatever it is he do, it may be perfunctory, as The Wire would so eloquently put it, maybe a perfunctory jab, you know what I'm saying? But whatever it is, it's enough to get that left hand to land. And it seemed like when he land, and it's not, I mean, the left hand is super powerful in Stevenson, but I also believe that he's a two-handed fighter. I believe that right hand is that it hurt too. You know what I'm saying? I believe he got some snap in that motherfucker too. And so I believe that this will be, if this fight goes through, this will be the hardest test Andre Ward has had to date. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, he had some great tests, beating everybody in the Super 6 and everything, and, you know, doing his thing outside of that. He had some good tests, but I just believe that with Stevenson's, that KO power, man, being the X factor like it is, man, this is a tough fight. Like, you remember how Max Kellerman was saying how Ward had to walk that tightrope fucking with Kovalev. I believe Stevenson is twice as strong as Kovalev. So that same punch that Kovalev landed that knocked Andre Ward down and kind of shook him up for a little while, I believe if Stevenson would have landed that, the fight would have been over. I don't think Ward would have recovered from that. You know what I'm saying? He's naturally the smaller guy, and Stevenson just, oh my God. I mean, he done knocked out Tony Bellew. You know what I'm saying? He done, the man punches like Emmanuel Stewart. They said the man punches like a moose. The man just, man, he got dynamite in his fist. So, like, anytime you have that dynamic, and you have a guy who's been a seasoned veteran and a champion for a long time. Stevenson had the belt for a long time now. So, I don't know, man. That fight, to me, is a 60-40 fight. I say Ward has a 60% chance of winning it. He should be the favorite. I do believe he should be the favorite, because I think he can beat Stevenson, you know. But I do believe that if all it takes is one punch, you know, and it could be head, body, wherever. That left land, man, if it hurt Ward, that could change the entire dynamic of the rest of the fight, you know. So this matchup is not only intriguing, it's, I believe, historic. You know what I'm saying? When it go down, it's historic. Ward or Stevenson would become the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. And in my opinion, like, if Ward win that, man, I mean, damn. I mean, at that point, you know, first of all, his number one pound for pound status already right now is cemented. But if he was to win that kind of a historical fight, that catapults him up into that, you know, that historic conversation. You know, you got to put him up there with some of the greatest of all time, you know, irrespective of weight class. So, I mean, this is the kind of shit that Ward really wanted. He said he wanted, you know. So, I want to see him achieve it. I do. But I do believe that Stevenson is a hell of a test, man. If Stevenson can win this fight, you know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. This has been probably one of the best years boxing has had in a long time, man. We got the Kell Brook, Errol Spence shit. We got the Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. No, wait. Was that last year? Might have been last year. Yeah, but, you know, whatever. That still was a hell of a fight. We got the Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia this year. We got the AB Mikey Garcia. We got the Crawford versus Ndongo. You know what I'm saying? We going to get the Triple G Canelo coming up. This shit is popping this year, man. So if you're a boxing purist, you had this is your motherfucking year. This make up for all that shit they did last year. You know what I mean? All the fuckery and the posturing. You know what I mean? We had to deal with for quite some time. Basically, since like 2013 was also a really good year for boxing. Had a lot of great fights like this, but this year has been great for us. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see it. I want to keep it going. I want to make sure we support these kind of fights. These are the kind of fights we gotta support. Make sure they sell out. Make sure they do their numbers so that we keep getting this kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of the cupcake shit, you know what I mean? I'm tired of the showcase fights, you know? I mean, showcase fights had a place, but goddamn, not on the big stage. Not in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on this situation. I would have, just to have a clear-cut prediction, I would have Andre Ward winning this fight. I say definitely a 9 rounds to 3, 8 rounds to 4 type situation. 9 rounds to 3, 10 rounds to 2. Because technically, I don't think Stevenson could do nothing with Ward. In my opinion, he can't even really win rounds without hurting Ward. But I believe that Stevenson has it to hurt him. So he's going to get, I mean, the shit is going to land eventually. He's going to get 1 or 2 rounds, but I can't see him taking no more than 3. You know what I'm saying? Not against my man SOG. But shit, man, anything can happen in this game, man. And I'm just looking forward to it, man. I'm loving the way this shit going. I'm loving shout out to Richard Schaefer and the tournament they doing with the cruiserweights. That's some other shit I'm looking forward to. Just a really big year for boxing, man. I'm loving this shit, man. I'ma holla at y'all, man. Fuck with me 100.